Hey y'all, it's me, I'm here. And I'm not ready to go live. Not at all. I just got back from being inside Porto. We're now in the neighborhood we're staying in, Matis something. Um, I hope my microphone is actually working. You can hear me. Baby, I don't know. We've been out in the streets this morning. I literally just got back and the internet decided to have some problems this morning. First I couldn't log on. And then StreamYard, the system I use, is telling me that I can't do stream. I couldn't stream in Chrome. I had to use Safari. Who's using Safari in 2023? I mean, I only use Safari when I don't want my searches to be in Chrome. Oh, you can't hear me. We can't hear you, or you can't hear me. Locating says, Janae says, can hear you. Yolanda says, can't hear you. You can hear me, but it's very low. The microphone keeps falling. The microphone fell time. See, what happened is my breasts muffled the microphone sound in my bosoms. Let's hopefully we can get this better. Hey, if it's your first time here, usually I'm more together, but part of being out this morning meant going to a restaurant. And in Lisbon or in Portugal, when you go to a restaurant, there's alcohol. So, hello. We drank wine. Hi, everybody. Hey. I'm gonna go grab some water. Come with me. I'm staying in this Airbnb. I love it. Absolutely love it. I thought this was gonna be another wine time, but I'm already filled up on wine, so probably not. Good day, Stephanie. Oh, let's start this out by saying hey to everyone, especially hey to members of the YouTube membership. Hey, y'all. I will give the YouTube members a tour of this Airbnb sometime in the next 2 days. But for now, we drink water. Okay. How's everybody doing? Tell me how your day is. I am in Porto. And I hate to tell you guys this. I thought I was going to be able to keep it a secret. I haven't seen Adelia, but I just saw someone say, hi, Adelia. So make sure you plug her ear so she don't hear this. Y'all, I fear I may need to learn Portuguese. Learning Portuguese may be on the agenda. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell Adelia, definitely. She's not supposed to know. Okay, who's here? If this is your first time, hi, my name's Roshida. I'm a career break coach. Sometimes I'm more together online. Sometimes I'm less together online. If you're watching this and you're like, I can't believe this is how you intro a video, just press the X in the top left corner because it's not going to get no better. This is where we are. This is it. This is it, y'all. This is what we do. This is what we do. So, I'm using my gloss because I literally came in through the door it's 4 o'clock this hour. It's just after 4 this time. And I came in through the door at like 3:50 something. I'm not ready for this. And I planned on taking the train home. We took the train into town today. But based on how long it took to get the check in the restaurant, that didn't work out. Did not. So hey y'all, we're here to talk about creating your own freedom because clearly I'm a free Black woman. Free. Okay, Janae said, ask Katrina about the Brazilian man we saw on a scooter in Lisboa with the beautiful hair. She filmed him. He was beautiful. Okay, so y'all. I know, and I'm going to be super serious with you guys about this one part. I know that traveling, a lot of traveling, is just your experience in one place versus your experience in another place. I know this. I know this. We're not going to be slow about that. I'm never going to say any place is perfect. But I will say, in Morocco, we stayed in 3 Airbnbs. As far as we could tell, 2 were locally owned. One was definitely owned by foreigners. They were interior decorators. That was the one that Stephanie rented. It was magnificent. My mom rented too. For some reason, in my room, in both of them, there was no sheet. 2 different cities, 2 different Airbnbs. Each of them had a mattress cover and no sheet. And the first one was like you know when you don't put your towels in the dryer, like you air dry them so they get a little stiff. The first mattress cover was like stiff terry like that. Like whose body is sleeping on this? Not mine. Not mine. The second one was a little softer, but it was still clearly a mattress cover. The first one had a sheet and they just didn't put it on. The second one was like, oh, you want a sheet? I'll send somebody with a sheet tomorrow. And it was literally a sheet in a package because they didn't own a sheet. It was literally and that was the master bedroom, didn't have a sheet, just a mattress cover. So that's how short synopsis of the time in Morocco. Coming directly from Morocco to Portugal, at every Airbnb we stayed at, our guests have met us at the house, even though the first one there's a code, so they could have sent us a code. You know, you could log in yourself, you can get in yourself, self-check-in. We could have self-checked in because it was a code to the door, but he showed up there and he was like, boom, these are all the things you need to know. These are some guides, blah, 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 blah. Second guy, same thing. He showed up. He talked us through everything we need to know. It was like a 45-minute talk. There were maps. He bought us Metro cards. And when I tell you, let's pause for a second. Both of these helpful gentlemen had the nerve to be fine too. What y'all doing? Who's doing this? Why are y'all doing this? Explain to me why you're helpful and hot. But how can I talk bad about men? When y'all are helpful and hot. Oh, I met an American man who reminded me why. I'm gonna tell y'all about that later. Reminded me why I can still talk trash about men. Y'all don't have to be like this. Y'all don't have to be like this. But the Portuguese men, helpful and hot. Hot. Why are you doing this? Who asked for this? I mean, over and over and over again, I asked for it, but also, was not expecting it. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's going on? Why would you do this to me? I'm kind of bothered by like how this is going. Both of them. The second one stayed for like 45 minutes. We had all this luggage, lifted every suitcase upstairs. I was gonna lift like a small one. He was like, no, I've got it. Oh, and when are you guys leaving? Because clearly I need to come back to lift the suitcases down the stairs for you. Is this a trap? Am I pregnant? What's going on? Could I be? What's going on? Very helpful. Very hot. Very confusing. I don't like it. I don't like being confused. I like the helpfulness. But so, and all the places we've stayed in have been beautiful. And there's sheets on the beds. There's sheets. I don't ask for much. The one I'm staying in now in Portugal has a fitted sheet and a flat sheet. Now, y'all who've been to Europe know, in a lot of these places, you're just getting a fitted sheet and like a duvet comforter on top. A fitted sheet and a flat sheet and a duvet. I said, oh, I live here now. I walked in the house talking about, I live here now. This is my home. I live here now. He don't know it yet, but I live here now. I hope he owns it because we live together in this house. Helpful and hot? Right? It's a trap. I know it's a trap. I know it's a trap. Helpful and hot. Janice, okay, I saw that you sent me a message, but I haven't actually read the message because I haven't done anything on WhatsApp lately. So I have 2 sheets. Unlike Morocco, where I had 0. I'm very comfortable. What was Rebloom Room's very specific question? With a close-cut beard. He has a close-cut beard. The second one has a close-cut beard. The first one, I don't remember. I don't. And then I get out, and it's beautiful out here. It's beautiful out here. Tanya said that when she stayed in Moroccan hotel, they had to ask for sheets. In a hotel? Is that the bottom sheet? Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to ask whether it's the bottom sheet or the top sheet, but I'm curious. Like, were there any sheets on the bed? Oh, okay, so just last week, I was like, I feel like I should get a second place. I think my second place might be Porto. It is not as diverse. Our Black Utopia, Halisi will tell you it's not as diverse as Lisbon is, but there's something about the water and it's not being as hilly as Lisbon, not as many tourists as Lisbon, as far as I can tell. It's just doing it for me. It could be that this house is really nice though, but the house, I cannot afford this house. No, I'm so sorry. I try to say I cannot afford. I try to say I do not want to pay. What this house would cost for long-term living is a number I do not want to pay. Could I afford it? Yes, I would have to work. And y'all know that's not my ministry. So I don't want to pay for it, but this house is really nice. And there's some, I don't know what it is. There's nothing like amazing about it, but it's just like very thoughtful. It's very thoughtfully put together. Oh, okay. I have to say something else. Pray, travel, eat, repeat. I'm in Porto. 6 months in Mexico City, 6 months in Portugal. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Oh yes, both places left us wine. This place was wine and snacks. Yes. Yes, I think they're of Portuguese descent, which, okay, so I had an absolutely wretched grandmother, like top tier nonsense. Top tier ridiculous nonsense. Who claimed to be Portuguese. Now she was Portuguese and Black, but she denied the Black side. But like half. All my life I heard she was Portuguese. And so I've always been like a little biased against Portuguese people. I'm so sorry. But my grandmama did that, right? Like, like real like self-hating kind of thing. Like Black people are bad and below her, but like, baby, you're Black. Calm down. So like I've always been like, I don't know about the Portuguese. And so now here I come, looking at Portuguese men. Terrible decisions. Okay. If I can, you know what? And I don't know if I take a video on the street, whether you would be like, these men are hot, or whether it's the helpfulness plus the hotness that makes them, you know what I mean? Like the helpfulness, like that really steps it up a bit. Now they're hosts. Now this is a transaction, so they're being paid to be helpful, but still, I don't know. It could be the wine. Is it as hilly as Lisbon? No, it's not. And this is my experience so far. Stephanie says, Porto has cooler weather. Am I okay with that? I'm not a hot weather person. And right now it's like, right now in Porto, I think the high is like 73 today, and I was hot. I'm a cool weather person. I'm like give me like a 75 is the highest. Why is it going above that? It's 72 right now. By the time I hit 75, I'm like, ooh, let's come inside. The sun is, ooh, we don't need that. So yeah, I like it. Okay. Why were they helpful? Okay. Oh, and okay, Halisi, you got to get off the call. Halisi, if anybody else is in the house watching with you, you got to get off the call too. I am so sorry. Just hang up for a second. Y'all, I met Rick. I met Halisi's husband. I can't believe I'm saying this on the internet. Rick. Turn it off if you're watching it. Okay, Rick from Our Black Utopia. It's really nice and like normal. And there were no moments where I was like, look at you being a man. We saw them twice. And both times I was like, oh, I like him. Why? Why would you do this to me? Why would you make me get on the internet and say nice things about men? Like, what's your problem? Why are you so inconsiderate that you would do this? I don't like it. Why would you? Q, I'm talking about Rick's a nice guy. Yes, that's the point. Why? Why would you make me say nice? I don't say nice things about men on this channel. And now here you go, being nice and normal and not at all mannish. Y'all gonna make me rethink my position about men, and I don't. That's not what I came for. Mm. Michelle. Hey, Michelle from San Miguel. Okay, first of all, Michelle, if Casa Elm is filling up for the jazz festival, because I've already seen people, there's a jazz festival in San Miguel, y'all. And I've seen people are already booking up Casa Elm for the jazz festival. Michelle, you better save me a room, girl. Y'all better not go out there. Y'all better not show up booking out Casa Elm before I can get my life together to book it for the jazz festival. I have already seen people in Exodus Summit booking up the rooms and getting their tickets to the San Miguel Jazz Festival. Michelle, I need a room. Save me a room. Don't let them people be booking all the rooms. What is this? What is this nonsense? I thought like, oh, I don't have time to do this right now. But they're going to book up all those rooms before I get a chance. I don't like it. So nice, so normal. I thought when I met him in person, I'd be like, just like a man. Never, never. Very sweet. And not like sweet in a way where you're like, there's something there I don't trust. Like very like reasonable human. Okay, so 2 of y'all can book at Casa Elm for a jazz festival. 2. If a third one books, I'll be mad at y'all. Every man I've met in Portugal has been so nice. Except one. Except one. We're going to talk about this, but it's one of the reasons I want to talk about the topic today, which is, hey, the 19th, May 19th was the 5-year anniversary of me leaving the Bay Area, driving north to Portland to start my 1 year around the world. I went Portland to drop off my dog with his doggy uncle. I went to Vancouver to see my best friend, hang out with her and her kids for a while. Went to LA to see my dad, went to Florida to see my mom, and then I went to Playa del Carmen for Claire from Up in the Air Life for her birthday. And then I went to 22 more countries. After Playa, I went to Mexico City. It was my second time in Mexico City, I think. And then I went to San Miguel de Allende. And that's when I realized I love those 2 places. So I've been 5 years of being like living on my own terms, being free. If you guys don't know my story, if you're watching this and it's your first time here or you're kind of new to the channel, I was laid off from my job. It's my second time being laid off. My first time I was like, oh my God, I'm so worried. I'm so scared. What if I never work again? It was the recession, right? So like nobody was hiring. I was at a BMW dealership today and I thought about this. I started my career as a real estate lawyer for banks. And so 2009, I was doing real estate for banks on the financing side, of course. And so when banks lent people money for commercial real estate projects, I would draft the documents, I'd review the surveys and environmental reports and all that stuff, get it all done. But in 2009, banks weren't lending people money for commercial real estate. Banks were like, hold up. We're already over leveraged. We're not doing this. No, we don't trust y'all. The banks were like, your project can sit on hold forever. We don't care. And I spent 6 months being unemployed because nobody was. I was at a law firm that was my worst employment experience I've ever had. I've been working since I was 12. The law firm I worked there for 2.5 years was the worst employment experience. Like racism, sexism, but also, there's in a lot of industries, people are like, I had a terrible time when I was a new whatever, and so I'm going to make sure you have a terrible time too. Because if I suffered, you should suffer too. And that was it every single day at that law firm. Every single day was like, the manager of the law firm sent me a message. He was like, I want to have breakfast with you one day. The managing partner, so I was like, all right. I'm on his radar. Let's talk about this. I got some things I need to talk about. Let's talk about this. Takes us to breakfast to the athletic club. Now, the athletic club in Columbus is like a fancy place to go. Okay, we going to fancy breakfast. All right. Okay, so I am there at breakfast. That man says to me, I heard you're really unhappy. And I was like, boom, okay, we're getting somewhere. somewhere. You heard I'm really unhappy. This has to change. Yes, I have your attention. You know this is terrible. I heard you're really unhappy. It's not doing it. Hold on, let me get this microphone. He said, I heard you're really unhappy. But all associates are unhappy, so you just have to get used to that. And I was like, I'm in my maybe like year and first 18 months of practice at the firm. All associates are unhappy. Most people were associates there somewhere between 7 years and 10 years. I'm a Black woman, so we're looking at like 10 to 12, right? Because the percentage of Black female partners there are 0 at the time. 0, right? He was like, all associates are happy. You just have to get used to it. And I was like, that's not, how are you the head? You are the head of a law firm, and your response to me, to an employee who's unhappy, for like, not like I'm unhappy because like I don't have a good parking spot. I'm unhappy because I'm stuck on projects. I'm stuck on the worst projects. One of my clients, my main client, the work was so terrible that someone would ask me, like a partner, multiple partners asked me what projects I was working on. I told them, and they would make a face. One groaned, and I was like, that can't be how you, like, as a partner of a law firm, I can't tell you the work I'm doing, which is putting more money in your pocket than mine, and you're like, ugh. That can't be your response, right? Unless you're going to help me get out, and you're not going to help me get out. So what is this? Literally. That's your response to the work that I'm doing day in and day out. And when I tell you the head guy that I'm unhappy, his response is, everybody's unhappy, deal with it. Okay, so I've been trying to get out of there. They laid off 20% of their associates after like a month before telling us we were family, and they would never lay anybody off. We'd never lay any of you guys off. We're family. A month later, layoffs. If you hear that, if you hear we are family, we would never lay any of you off, tighten up, baby. Put your resume in the streets. But at that time, no one was hiring commercial real estate attorneys because no one was financing commercial real estate. Okay, so 6 months unemployed. And then I started working as a temp lawyer at BMW because they had this project in Canada and they needed someone who knew real estate, because real estate in Canada and the US from a commercial financing side are a lot alike. They wanted me for 2 or 3 months, and then they never let me go. Woo! Because that was a job where it was like, oh, y'all, no one knows what they're doing. Here's the thing I want you guys to listen to. When I was at the firm, I heard over and over and over again that I didn't know what I was doing, that I didn't know, from partners I was working with. I didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a good work ethic. I didn't know what I was doing. All of my clients were happy. All my clients were like, A+, we love it. We're coming back to you next time. Like, you did this. Every client was happy. The partners were like, you're dumb. You don't know what you're doing. 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 I went to BMW and they were like, oh my God, you know what you're doing. No one here has ever known how to do this stuff. No one here has ever known how to do this stuff. Oh my God, we can't believe you know how to do this. And I was like, I don't know any more than I did. I felt like I've been studying for the past 6 months. I've been like volunteering at an organization that had nothing to do with this kind of thing. So me knowing it means I knew it 6 months ago, but I worked at a place where people were insistent that I knew nothing. Where I got dinged for not calling a partner on vacation in Hawaii to ask him questions when I didn't have questions. And when I did have questions, I asked them to the partner who was there. And it was my file. It was my case. Because I didn't call this man while he was on vacation in Hawaii, I got dinged for taking too much initiative. That's what the law firm was. Anyhow, all this to say, like, your work environment might feel like it's giving you some stuff, but if it's not giving you what you need, no matter good it looks from the outside or how much it might feel like it's giving, get out, right? Like, get out. I went to BMW and I worked there for 9 years, I think, 8 years, doing commercial real estate financing, and then I left. So, same thing I did at the law firm, looking at documents, drafting documents, working with law firms who were like, I drafted documents when I was at the firm. I had people who were drafting those documents for me now. And they were like, yes, Roshida, whatever you want. And I was like, I went from like, you dummy motherfucker to like, yes, Roshida, whatever. In like, just like that. Just by going to a different employer. I went from like, why don't you know anything? To like, you're so smart. I love working with you. And here are those documents you asked for on time. Nothing changed about me, just the environment. Okay, left there, and then I moved on to do commercial real estate, consumer auto financing. So those, when you buy or lease a car, if you get a loan or a lease, that terrible document that you sign in triplicate, and when I say terrible, well, all I really mean is long, that y'all don't be reading. Y'all don't be reading it. The one, I know one of y'all is going to chime in and say, I read mine. For every one of you that reads it, there are 30 of you that don't read it, or more. Maybe even 100 that do not read that. I wrote those. And so I did that, and then I went to Uber, and I did that for them. And then the company I worked for at Uber, I worked for like a subsidiary. They went out of business, and when they went out of business, I was like, I'm tired of working. I'm tired of like being stressed because I have a slight bias. When people say like, oh, I want to work in tech, I'm like, why do you want to work in tech? Because I've worked in tech, and it was terrible. It was absolutely, it wasn't that bad as a law firm, but I think also it wasn't as bad as a law firm because I was like 10 years deeper in my career. And back then, like I came in not knowing anything, and now I was the one who knew things, and I was working with people who didn't know anything. So I could be like, baby, no, that's not it. But yes, if you have ever said, I want to get a job in tech, and if you're headed down that career, I ask you why. What is the reason? What are you trying to get from a job in tech? And is there another way to get it? Hi, Vibe, say, yeah, she didn't read her contract. The reason I know y'all don't read your contracts is because every time someone would say something, like we get a letter or a complaint, and I'd be like, you can't do that. Like you can't do that. It takes 3 days and several pots of coffee to read those things. Yes, leave and don't sign nothing. Don't buy the car. A car, it may not be the car you saw when you got there, but a car will be waiting for you after you read those documents. I promise you it's worth it. People be like, I'm never going to make a payment on this car. Well, now we don't have to wait to repossess the car for you to not make payments. Threatening to not make payments violates the contract. So now we can, like, your car is set up for repossession now because you said you weren't going to pay. Why would you do that? Don't do that. Don't do that. It's silly. Don't do that. Most people run in tech because of the money, basically. I keep telling people I'm not a tech person. That's not my calling. Okay, so I think there used to be a time where like tech money was flowing left and right, and you didn't have to do a lot to get tech money. I think those days are over. And as someone who worked in tech, I will tell you that I make just as much money now than I did as I worked in tech. And I'm much happier because I work with people I like. When I say one of my biggest flexes is if I don't like you, I don't talk to you. There's never a reason for me to talk to you if I don't like you. What do we have to talk about? It's not work because I don't work for you. What could it be? What could it be? If I don't like you, I don't talk to you. Period. And that is me in a nutshell. That's my flex. That's it. The people I worked with in tech, very smart at a lot of things, not very smart in the thing they were doing. Not very smart in the things they were doing. And so the company I worked for, I've already said their name, but whatever. Hypothetically, the hypothetical company I worked for, if you were good at one thing, they acted like you could do everything. And I'm like, that's not how, that's not how the world works. This is a highly, highly regulated industry at the state and federal level, which is the reason you need multiple lawyers. You can't just go out there like you just made up an industry like you did with the other company. It don't work that way. And so when I left there after 2 years, I think, my first couple weeks on the job, I was like, oh, this company not gonna make it. I am so sorry. I didn't realize this when I took the job, but now that I'm here, y'all not gonna make it. Because y'all don't know anything about this area of business you're in. Okay. So about 2 years into it, they went out of business. And I started applying for jobs. I've got a 6-month notice they're going out of business. Started applying for jobs. And I would go into interviews and be like, what? No. Yes. Okay, bye. Right? Like, super bad attitude because I didn't want to work. One of the jobs I applied for was in the same building. If you know San Francisco Tech, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was in the same building that I just left. No. I won't. No, I don't want to work here. Goodbye. I am an expert. I spent almost a decade at a legacy company doing this. You just shifted over from Parks and Rec or what the F ever over here. And now you think that because you thought of it, I have to make it happen? No. Because your idea is stupid. Shall I explain the ways it'll never work? Thank you. They don't respect the expertise. Like if the industry has been regulated since before you were born, maybe learn a little bit about how it's regulated or why it's regulated before you go in trying to break things. Because, somebody going to prison. All right. There is a fairy tale version of tech on social media. Yes, there is. Now, for some of y'all are at great companies, you love it, it's great. But before you get in there, I would say ask yourself what it is you want, and is there another way to get there? Okay, so anyhow, I left and I was like, let me go travel for a year. A year later, I was like, I spent a year not clocking into work. How would I ever go back to a place that expects me to be anywhere at a certain time? How could I ever go back and have a boss be like, I need you to be in this meeting at this time? Baby, I'm on a beach. What are you talking about? I'm having a water gun fight in the streets of Chiang Mai. I won't be at that meeting. I am so sorry. I'm not even sorry. I'm not. I won't be there. I'm in a bus through the Swiss Alps. My Wi-Fi ain't Wi-Fi-ing. No, like a year later, I was like, no. And so from then on, I was like, I need to design my life, which is what we're talking about today, creating your freedom life. And for a lot of us, it's like, it's an idea, but it doesn't feel real. And for me, it was, what is the thing between where you are and where you want to be, and how do you get there faster, right? How do you do that? Janae says the clocking in thing. I have a friend struggling to get back into workforce after 6 years being on her own time. It's hard. 6 months into it, I knew I can't go back. And my friends, other lawyers, people at large tech companies were like, here's this job, apply for it. But like, you know, they're in the background behind, you know, very well-known tech founders during hearings on CNBC. They can get me you know what I mean? Like a job at the company they work at, easy peasy. You know, like if I say I want it, it's mine. I see you, buddy. I see you. But I don't. My boy was like, if you don't apply for it, I won't be doing it. You and Zuck got to go your own way. I won't be there. Absolutely not. Because I knew it wasn't for me, right? And so for those of us who know you want a different life, what does that look like? When I left tech and I traveled for a year, everyone was like, well, you could do this. Everyone was creating jobs for me because the idea of me being unemployed somehow was scarier for other people than it was for me, right? And who hasn't been there, right? Who hasn't been like, all these people keep coming up with plans for me that I don't want because they have fear for my own life more than I have fear for my own. Don't listen to them. Do what you want. Do what you want. There's a comment I wanted to see. Oh. So I worked at BMW. I've been there long enough that I knew so many people. Like, I'd been there long enough that even though they were like, whenever they didn't like what I said, it was like, very much like, why does a black girl get to tell me anything? And I'm like, because I'm the only one in the room who knows what they're talking about. That's why. But also, I could say to them, like, they come with something, and I'd be like, when this goes wrong, like, if you want to move ahead with it, all I need for my notes is who's going to be the person who goes to prison when this goes wrong. Who? Raise your hand. Raise your. Who is it? Raise your hand. Who's going? Because when you violate this law, there can be criminal penalties. At Uber, I couldn't say that because they would be like, how dare you? How dare you imply that we are not the smartest people on earth? How dare you imply that we could ever get anything wrong? But I'd just be like, in my notes, like, okay, so I'm going to send this email. I hear you. I'm writing this sending this email to the top. Because y'all don't want to hear me in these meetings. And I'm not going to waste my time. After more than a decade of doing this, I'm not wasting my time. I'm going to clickety click. Send my notes to like 4 people telling you why you should not do this. And then I'm going about my day because y'all here acting like, they'd be like, well, in a meeting that I'm in, like from a legal aspect, and they would just keep talking. I remember being in one of those meetings at Uber when someone was like, Roshida's right here. Y'all not going to talk to her about the oh, well, we understand. I am not forcing my advice on anybody. I did that at BMW. I'm not doing it at Uber. I'm going to clickety click, 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 write an email, send it off. From a legal perspective, and I'm the only lawyer in the room, okay. Y'all don't need me. Y'all don't need me. It's fine. Prison. Who's going? Raise your hand if you're the one going to prison when this goes wrong. Is it you? It's not me. Because my notes say don't do it. My notes clearly say don't do it. Is it you? Criminal penalties? It's not me. TT says, been unemployed for a few months, just coasting, deciding my next. Yes. C-Temp has been in interviews with that face. That face of like, I know you think you get to ask me questions, but why isn't this me interviewing you about how whack this workplace is? I can see it in your face. Don't you hate it when you go into interviews and the interviewer looks like they don't want to be there? Like they don't look happy to be at work. If you're not happy to be at work, why do you think I would? Baby's not desperate. We talked about this last week. Light fraud. A little light fraud, a little petty crime. Speaking of light fraud and petty crime, I know this one is all over the place, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. Y'all know how I do. This week, I met a man, and we were talking with his wife. Not like that. He was terrible. Black American man. Met him at a group activity for tourists. He was so offended to find out that Exodus Summit was for men only, for women only. Talking about I'm discriminating, blah, 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 blah. Now, the non-Black woman beside me was like, I get it. She was like, y'all need safe spaces. The Black man was like, how dare you? You should be mentoring Black men so that they're able. I was like, you want me to work? I was like, you're asking me to do more. You should create a different group for men. You're asking me to do labor when my whole shtick is not Black women not laboring. Well, you should be doing, it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's not, are men being discriminated against in this patriarchy? And when I said something to his wife about not working, he's like, we'll be divorced if she stops working. She on her own. And I was like, so clearly you're not ready. Not only are you not ready for your wife, you're not ready to be the man y'all always talk about, who fully supports his wife. Y'all always talk about this, right? Being the man, being the leader, all that BS. But if she doesn't work, y'all split? So what do you need me for? If what I do is help people not work, why are you mad that and I told him I'd help him one-on-one. One-on-one, I'll help a man. But in my group is a safe space for women. The group, if you're not already in Exodus Summit, is in the description of this video. Clickety-clack over, join. We hit 10,000 people while we were in Morocco, I think, or just after, while I was still in Morocco, we hit 10,000 people. We're gonna have a 10,000 people party, an online party. Let me tell y'all the wheres and the whens. The 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern time in Exodus Summit, the Facebook group, the larger Facebook group, we're going to have a party. So if you're not already a member and you're a Black woman, join the group. Let's party. If you are not a Black woman, I'm so sorry. I discriminate. I do. And men can't make me feel bad about that. No one can make me feel bad about that. I don't need to labor for you. You should be creating something else for men, blah, blah. And I was like, those organizations are out there. I was like, all you have to do is Google it. Oh, so I got to Google? Yes, if you want it, do this much work to get it, as opposed to telling me that I need to do this much work to create it for you. If you're not willing to do this much work to get it, I'm not out here to help you. Now, I could have told him about Black Global's men's community, but this is not a man who wanted it. He just didn't want to be left out. He doesn't want to move abroad. He has no desire to move abroad, but he mentioned he has no desire to stop working. All he wants is for women to do free labor for him. No, won't be doing that. Oh, I just don't like it because you're discriminating against men. I don't care. Do it yourself. Like, do it yourself, which is where I'm going with this. If you're part of the Exodus Summit Facebook group, you will get information soon. Stephanie's probably gonna tell me I'm lying in a minute. I don't know if she's still here. Okay. Our next Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge, which is the thing that changed Stephanie and my business. Doing the work that we do in the challenge, not leading the challenge, but the work behind it, and has helped many people here who are watching grow their businesses. That starts June something, June 1st to 6th. No, that's not it. I'm making up days. June 4th through 10th. Starts June 4th. And that is at, I have to do math, 7:55. That's 8. 3 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern time, but Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge. If you want to create something, right? Even if it's already created, but you don't have the clients you want, we are going to send out emails to people who are on a wait list, linked in the description, and we're going to talk about it in the Exodus Summit Facebook group. So if you're not on either one of those, waitlist will get it first, and then the Facebook group. So, you know they don't listen to us. You know they don't. Mad. How are you at dinner arguing with me about my business? Oh, and then he said, I mean, well, do you do it for the purpose or do you do it for money? And I feel like we should break into that. We should break that down a bit. Do you do it for the purpose or you do it for money? I was like, it's a job. I love what I do, but I don't do it for free. Like he used to be a truck driver. You think he drove trucks for purpose? But like Black women are expected, especially when their clients or other Black women are expected to do work for purpose. I was like, I do work for money. You do work for money. So why is you doing work for money somehow different than me doing work for money? Because what I kept saying to him was, you're asking me to do free labor. Like creating a men's Facebook group, that's free labor. That's labor. And it's unpaid labor. Well, do you do what you do for money or for purpose? You think I'm afraid to say I do it for money? Like, hi, welcome. And what I said to him was that for all of you, everyone watching this, you have heard me say it before. I want y'all to get paid. If there's something you do that people ask you for help with, if you're out there spending your post-work time braiding hair, making plates, painting paintings, whatever it is you're doing, I want you to get paid. I don't want you to do it for free. I will never tell you you should be doing something because it's your purpose. You should be eating mangoes and having your feet rubbed on the beach. That's my purpose, baby. My purpose is to relax. I work really, really hard a couple months out of the year, and the rest of the time, I spend as much time relaxing as I can. And I get paid good money for it because I have designed the life intentionally, which is the topic we're coming. See, I'm always bringing it back to the topic. I'm always bringing it home. Always bringing it home. Why are you? What is it for purpose or are you doing it for the money? You work for the US government. Do you do it for your purpose? IT for the US government? Is that your purpose in life? Or you like a paycheck? Like what? I know he would never pay for it. Because a lot of times when people come at you like that, it's not that your work isn't accessible, it's that you're not bending over backwards to work with them for free. They want free you, not paid you. He's never coming to me one-on-one. But you can. Link in in description. My one-on-ones are open for June and probably July. And then I'll probably close them again for the rest of the year because I have Exodus Summit business to take care of. Y'all want a summit this year or not? What y'all think? A summit in October? Have we told y'all a date yet? Do you have it saved? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, when Exodus Summit rolls around, your calendar should be blocked off. Now, do you want the unofficial dates? Because I have the unofficial dates of Exodus Summit 2023. Stephanie did not say I could share this. I don't think she's here. So. No, you wouldn't, which is why I didn't send it your way. Girl, he said, we were talking about discrimination in Marrakesh because a woman next to me is Moroccan. And she was like, oh no, they're super racist. Moroccan woman, by birth, by descent, her parents are Moroccan. She was like, they're super racist there. And we started talking about like how hard it is to be a woman there. And he was like, it's because they're Muslim. And then started talking about how like the basis of Islam is discriminating against women. And I'm like, baby, you are here showing me that you don't respect women in your Christianity. So perhaps, and like, you know, when someone is like on you and they find a new target and you're kind of like, oh, I get a breath. Like I felt bad for her. Like I feel, but I'm staying out of this because I'm 2 breaths away from being like, you want to get cussed out? Or like I'm trying to be polite because we in a group. My mama a couple times jumped in like, don't do this. My mom jumped in like, don't. She's not gonna let you do this too long. Why are you in my face? Anyway, so yeah, super clown, like, and you're attacking someone's religion. He went from attacking me for discriminating against men to attacking this woman's religion. And I was like, you're just terrible all around, aren't you? But his wife joined Exodus Summit, so hopefully we'll get her on board. Okay. All right. Savage Older says, my purpose is connected to payment. A word. Okay, I know that face. Is that Donna? I know that face. We were at a dinner table, so I couldn't walk away. If we were walking, we'd started this on a walking tour. If we were walking, I would have walked away. But we were sitting at a dinner table across from each other. There was nowhere to go. And I was against a wall. I was like this, in this position. So I was trapped. Ooh, a hostage situation. Okay. Regarding the challenge, if we're interested in getting the next 3 clients related to helping others transition to tech, is that a welcome focus of a challenge? Yes. If you're helping people online, if you're helping them in person, but getting the client, if you're getting clients online, or you're open to getting clients online, we can help you. The only people we intentionally carve out of the Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge, I don't drop a link to this here because the Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge is only for Black women because, once again, safe spaces. So you have to be in the Facebook group or on our email list to get the link. Pero, the only people we carve out, we exclude, are people who sell products because neither Stephanie or I sell products and we don't really know how to sell products. I mean, we could probably sell products, but I'm gonna tell you, the first question that everybody asks is about their pricing. And for a lot of, we've been coaches online long enough that we can help some people with pricing, and we've paid for enough coaching because Stephanie and I both really believe in paying for coaching, which is why I tell you, go get paid. We hire our client, like I have hired multiple clients who work for us. Thank you. Because when I see what you do and I know what you do and I know your passion and purpose behind it, even if that purpose is connected to money. Yeah, I didn't know what you were doing before you came to this challenge. I don't know what you're doing. I need that work. Any hoodle. But products, I can't help you price products or figure out how to sell products. I don't know that. You should find somebody else. Anyway, who wants to Exodus Summit dates? Anybody? I don't see it. Mm. Ooh, Steffi says I can. Colette says her calendar is up. Unofficial. Yeah, Francis knows these are unofficial dates because, baby, I don't know. If they change, they change. Last year we had the date set for one day, get a date set for late September. Then all of a sudden it was early October because changes happened. Okay, unofficial dates. Boop, 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 boop. October 7th through 9th. And that is a holiday weekend of some sort. Stephanie loves her holiday weekend. I was going to say Labor Day, but that's not it because that's September. So I don't know. October 7th through 9th. Yes, I sell services. Stephanie sells services. Come through with your selling services. If you get your clients, or if you're interested in getting clients online, we can help you. October 7th through 10th through 9th for Exodus Summit 2023. Y'all gonna be there? The group party is, you're making me jump between months. May 26th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh yes, Indigenous Peoples Day weekend. I told you Stephanie loves a holiday. So it'll always be around a holiday. Come through. Okay. Now, we've been talking about me a lot, but we're not done. A little bit, walk with me a little bit longer. I left work. Knew I couldn't go back. Started a business. No, people kept asking me, this is something I want you guys to hear. So gather around. Get closer, get closer, get closer, get closer. Okay. When I was traveling around the world for a year, and how I met Stephanie is that a woman called me, or she reached out to me online, I think maybe on Facebook, and she was like, hey, I want to travel the world for a year, but I want to travel. I just don't know how to plan it. I don't know what I should be doing. I don't know what I should be thinking about. I don't know what I'm missing. And so I got on the phone with her. And then when I was on the phone with her, she was like, do you know Stephanie Perry? And I was like, I don't. She was like, she also traveled, and told me her spiel. And I was like, okay, let me check her out. So I reached out to Stephanie, and she joined me on one of my very first YouTube videos. You don't have to watch it. My very first YouTube videos aren't great. You don't have to go back in time. We move forward. Every video is a little better than the last one, unless I've been drinking wine, and then all bets are off. Okay. And then I kept I created a hobby. I created a website. I started marketing on Instagram. I started doing all these things. That opened a calendar, did all these things, did all the things except charge money. Who else knows that familiar feeling? You did all the things for it to look like a business, but you didn't charge any money. Raise your hand. Let me know. I can't be the only one. Are you with me? Got coaching, did all these things, did not charge money. So I was just doing free session after free session after free session. And one thing I'm gonna tell y'all is that free session people have no problem not showing up to your meetings. So you might be like today, I was out in the streets. Oh, see these hands? Kathy's hand is up, Tonisha's hand is up. Did it all. Did all the things to have a business. And turn it into a hobby because you won't make no money. Because you didn't set yourself up to make money. The body electric supplements is kind of me right now. All right, Tyra, you have your dates. You have the dates. Yes. So these free people, I'd be out in the streets like I was today. Rush home to have a meeting with someone, and they wouldn't show up. And somewhere along the way, some coaching, whether it was group coaching or one-on-one, I don't remember what it was, but they were like, those people need to pay you. And I was like, but I just want to help Black women. And they were like, that's fun. But that's a hobby. So I started charging for it. And then Stephanie and I did a YouTube series. There's oil on the thing from yesterday on the table. I can't mess up. I've already claimed this house as my own, so I'm very protective of it. Like I saw oil on the table and I was like, I must get that up off my dinner table because I live here. Since I walked in, I've been saying I live here now. Joanna, I live in Porto now, just so you know. I see you just got here. Okay, so I liked what I was doing, but I was like, I need to get paid. I can't do any more free sessions. Stephanie and I did a 12 video series just for YouTube, just talking to people who'd done career breaks with no end in sight. We weren't selling anything. Stephanie had gotten a card game to give us a affiliate link. And I think since we did those videos in 2019 to now, we've made about $10 from those videos, from the affiliate link on those videos. I don't even think I have a payout thing set up. I don't remember. So I don't think we've even gotten that $10. So there was no purpose to the videos besides like showing other women that it could be done, right? We talked to 10 or 12 women, 12 women, 10 women, 12 women about career breaks because it was what we were both passionate about. And one of those women, Keena Williams, if you know her, you know she's a terrorist. Don't tell her I said that. I've interviewed her on the channel. I think she was part of the first Exodus Summit. She was one of the people we interviewed in that video challenge. She was like, you guys should do this as a summit. And I was like, quit playing in my face. Like, that just sounds like work. Especially because 2019, when you hear summit, that sounds online. 2020, 2021, that sounds like online. 2019, it sounds like in person. I was like, we won't be doing this. Now, Stephanie and I had never met. Between 2019, when we did that video series, and I had started doing helping people one-on-one in like spring of 2019. End of 2019, that series. Summer 2020, Stephanie was like, we should do a summit. And I was like, ew, but also, okay. All right, cool. And I was still having people one-on-one, which you can book at the link in my bio because I opened my calendar again. Helping people one-on-one, creating a course, which is now From Burnout to Bliss, which you can also get at the link in my bio. I have a link in the description. And creating Exodus Summit. And Exodus Summit and creating a community around Exodus Summit changed our lives in ways we didn't expect, right? We created the Facebook group the first year. I'll never forget. Tish, Coach Tish, Natisha. After the summit was over, she was like, the summit was so good. And then she said something in the Facebook group. And I was like, wait, there was like a whole other online area. She was like, no, I thought it was just the Facebook group and it was amazing. And I was like, oh, wait, no, like the Facebook group was solely there to support the summit the one time, right? Like we did some interviews in there. That's where we got together for like our coffee chats and some other things. And so we were like, no, the Facebook group was just kind of ancillary to the whole summit. But you thought the Facebook group by itself was a great summit. So yay, we're doing something here. We did the Facebook group just to support the summit, which had a free ticket entry for everyone who doesn't remember that, 2020. You could come for free. We've done smarter things, but whatever. The point I'm getting to, because I've been long-winded all day long just talking to y'all, is that in 2020, when we did the first summit, I think by the time we worked on it, I think we started in June, at least July, let's call it at least July, August, September, we did it, at least 3 months. Between the two of us, 3 months of work, I think we made $15,000. It's hard to say because, like, what? 3 months of work splitting. So, like, $2,500 each, which isn't a terrible number if you don't count in taxes, right? But also, at least that last month, we worked 80-hour weeks each week, 80-hour weeks. I've never been as tired as I was before the first summit. Never in my life have I been that. I have taken 2 bar exams. I have never been as tired. I worked, when I was an undergrad full time, I worked 3 jobs at the same time. I was never as tired as I was before the first summit. The first summit, I was like, I couldn't see straight. I literally would be like, go to bed at midnight, wake up at 6, start again, and start like at my computer from 6 to midnight or more every day, every day, every day, just getting it done. And that was more purpose and profit, y'all. That was definitely more purpose and profit. But I've now reached a point, years later, after a summit, after growing a business, after doing what we learned in the next 3 clients in that challenge, doing that work online, I've grown a business that allows me to travel. I'm traveling for 2 months. I'm traveling for 2 months. I'd left my house April 3rd. I'll be back May 30th. And I am not a budget traveler. I want to be. And then I start looking at Airbnbs and I'm like, I can't do it. I need the shiny one. Child, the Airbnb I wanted to stay at in Porto was $595 a night. And I was like, it's my birthday. I can do that. But the total for a week with all the fees and everything was like $4,400. And I was like, who's going to pay that? Like I can charge that on my card. But when the bill comes due, whoops is going to pay $4,000 plus for a week in an Airbnb. Mama, she's not gonna pay that. She's not gonna pay that. Who's going? So this travel hasn't been cheap, but working in a concentrated way. I work really, I kid you not. And I don't want anyone to feel any kind of negative way about me saying this. I work really hard 3 months out of the year. And the rest of it, I work as little as possible. But that didn't come because of luck. It came because I designed my life. My entire life, I have wanted, as long as I've been working, I've wanted to travel. I've wanted to go do things. I wanted to be on my own schedule. Once I realized I couldn't clock in for the man, I was like, what are we going to do that's going to pay some bills? And this is it, right? This is it. But it's not it because YouTube is paying me. I might get $1,000 a month from YouTube, which isn't nothing, but it's not paying for first class flights. It's not, right? Like YouTube money is good money. Some of y'all, I ain't gonna name no names. Some of y'all making good YouTube money right now. Good YouTube money. Part of making good YouTube money means like putting work into YouTube. And I've told y'all, I ain't trying to work. I ain't trying to work. Stephanie said it. Y'all deserve. Y'all deserve doing the work. What did they say? I can't even remember the phrase because it's so stupid. Money doesn't cause happiness. What do they say? It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. Because money might not make you happy itself, but when I'm unhappier in a prettier place. Blessings to all of you. Blessings. I tell you, when I still, right? Right. Like wealthy people, poor people, we all suffer from various amounts of depression, stress. I do it in first class. Y'all deserve. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because you can do it too. And I want it for you, but it doesn't happen without designing the life you want, right? It doesn't happen just by saying like, this job is good enough, right? If I was still at this job looks good from the outside, I'm at one of the most prestigious law firms in town. Sad moment. Okay, so when I worked at the law firm, one of the closest people to me, the person who joined that department the year before me, this guy, his office was next to mine when I started, or a year into me being there. Our offices were next to each other. He was the youngest person next to me in the department. We weren't super close, but we were like, we were buddies. We're buddies. I was discarded. I went to BMW. A young woman started the firm. She married him. And then the partners told her they were very disappointed in her, even though he was a partner and she was an associate. So he was the person with all the power in the relationship. They were very disappointed in her for being in a relationship with him. And she had to leave the firm. And she came to work for me. Not for me. She came to work with me at BMW. And our offices were now beside each other. So back at the law firm, our offices were my office was beside her husband, and now here my office is beside her. Super, financially doing well, kids, the life, the minivan, the murder-suicide. I kid you not. Like, he was a partner at a law firm that most people like in the city would have killed to work at. He had that job. Murdered his wife, killed himself. I feel like it's one of those things I still haven't come to terms with, because it's 6-7 years later and it's still so crazy to say. I worked with both of them. My office was beside both of them. It's bizarre. But a lot of us are holding in internal pressures because what it looks like from the outside is good, right? What it looks like from the outside is good, and so we're willing to eat some shit to keep it. We're willing to say that okay, it's not that bad because other people would be happy with it, or other people have it worse. I was talking to my therapist the other day, and I was like, we're talking about something, and I was like, I don't want to I don't even feel right complaining about this because other people have it worse. And as I was saying it, I was like, that's crazy. If I'm unhappy, I'm unhappy. If I'm unhappy with the situation, I'm unhappy. It doesn't matter how other people have it. I should never feel like I don't have a right to say that I deserve more because somebody else doesn't have more, right? I'm not talking about hoarding resources. I'm not talking about Bezos buying 17 more yachts, right? With the money that he hoards from his underpaid and under-bathroomed employees. I'm saying that I can have more happiness even if other people have less. Because I'm not creating the less for them. It's not a zero-sum game. It is not a pie. I can have more happiness even if some people have less happiness, right? If your job, if your life, if your moments, even if it looks like it's not that bad, I'm making more than other people, or I'm having more experiences than other people. If you're eating shit to get it, what else can you do? Right? Like how do you design a life that gives you what you need? What's the thing you can do today? I always talk to you guys about this, and I hope that when you hear me, you know I mean it. What can you do today to get you on the path? What can you do today to get you on the path that gets you where you want to go? Because I thought she was going to see her kids graduate from college. I talk to that woman every single day. I never saw any signs. None of us saw any signs. Nothing. She ate that shit. She ate it every day. Him, that stress at work, ate it. And I'm not blaming work for whatever happened. Clearly, he had his issues. I'm saying that from both of them, it looked perfect from the outside. And there are parts in your life where it looks perfect to someone else from the outside, and we're not willing to let go of the thing that looks perfect in order to get what we really want. I'm telling you to let go of it. People all the time are like, why would you stop being a lawyer? And I was like, clients, right? Like I work for BMW. It looks good. But why is you on my phone at like midnight? And when I worked at Uber, we had like a manager's meeting one week, like a super important. I got an email on like a Sunday morning that I need to be in a meeting at 7 p.m. on a Sunday. On God's day? He rested. Y'all can't rest? Y'all can't rest? Y'all can't rest. No? It looks, people, especially other lawyers, like, you don't know what I'm talking about. Other lawyers would be like, oh, it must be a dream job. And I'd be like, there are benefits at BMW. Somewhere between 4 to 6 months, they handed me the keys to a brand new car, fresh off the factory floor. I didn't have to pay for it. I rotated in cars 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a year. I always had a spring car, a summer car. Sometimes there were a winter car and a summer car. Sometimes there were other ones in between. But I worked for that, right? Like, I worked for that. I worked hard for that. Not the worst job I've had. But what I do now and what I get to do, like the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge, I love it. You're going to sign up. If you're signing up to get your next 2 clients, you're going to sign up. You'll get in there. I'm going to talk about you to your face. I love that. I get to talk about you to your face. Sign me up. No one's yelling at me that they want a memo in a day about something that I don't write memos. I tell somebody once, I don't write memos. I don't do that. I do actual functional work. You want an opinion? A law firm will write you an opinion for $20,000. I won't be doing that. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I get to do the work I like. Like I said, my biggest flex, and I want this for all of you, is I get to work with people I enjoy. I own my entire life. I only talk to people I like. If I don't like you, I'm ending this conversation. Like that man, I don't know his name. Once I talk to you guys about it, I'll never think about him again. We're done. No continuing. There's no, and I'm not saying everybody should work themselves because entrepreneurship is no joke. What I'm saying is that it's time to take stock and figure out what you want. If you have skills that you want to monetize and you're not monetizing. Stephanie and I can help you do that. As long as it's not products you're selling. Digital products, fine. Physical products, no. Through Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. Join the Exit Summit Facebook group or the waitlist for Get Your Next 3 Clients in the description to join. If you want to continue working for other people, and I get it, it looks good on paper. TJ, same, I see you. Make sure it also feels good, right? It doesn't just look good on paper. Make sure it feels good. Make sure it feels good, because if it doesn't feel good, what are you doing? Oh, Ruben were massive that. I'm disappointed it was lawyer speak for Get Out Girl. No, it wasn't. They did not care about her. Because they didn't tell her to get out. They just told her to leave the firm. They told her to get out of the firm. They didn't tell her to get out. No one told her to get out of the relationship. They made her leave the firm. It wasn't. Mm-mm. Tara said one of her partners at her daughter's firm jumped off a bridge. Yeah. So whenever I talk to younger lawyers or people who are just starting the business, one of the things I say, and I think it's applicable to most of us, is like, if you see a career path you're interested in, dig deeper into the people who are 10, 15, 20, 30 years ahead of you on that career path and see whether you want their life. I didn't realize that until I was at the firm, and I was like, I don't want to be any of these people. Not a single one of you is a role model. You cheating on your wife in the office? When this wife is your second wife because you cheated on the first wife who worked in the office? What's happening? Why is there just an array of cheating? Why is there people about to fight in the hallway because your dicks don't stay in your pants? More than one time, your dicks don't stay in your pants. What's happening? I don't want your lives. They're messy and terrible. Messy and terrible. I don't want this. What's going on? And you're not happy. You're not happy, right? Like, you're cheating in the office, and even still, your life is shit. You're not happy. And you're a terrible human. These are not lives I want. This is not what I aspire to. If you look at your career path and you look at people 10, 15, 20, 30 years ahead of you, and you're like, ew, that's what I have to look forward to, realize that if it's one person, right? If you see 5 people and one person has a life, and you're like, I don't want that, but 4 people have a life, you're like, and you see the life, you see how often they see their family, you see how often they go on vacation, you see how often they do the things that are important to you. Are they making it to their kids' baseball games? Are they working on the weekends, or are they off on the weekends? You see all those things, and you're like, yes, I would like that life. Go for it. If you see all those things and you're like, I don't want that, figure out how to get out. Figure out what getting out looks like to you. Figure out how to design a life. As much as we talk about like work from anywhere or remote work, I couldn't have the life I have now if I worked for other people, which is why me personally, I advocate working for yourself. I could not have, because I truly would. I talked to someone the other day who was like, my boss does not know I'm in Portugal. When they find out, they find out, right? But you're still taking meetings in the middle of a day. I want to take a nap in the middle of a day. And so for you, it's like, what can you do? How can you figure out the life you want and reverse engineer it? How do you get to the life you want? For me, it meant working for myself only so I could work as little as possible. I don't want to be on a computer every day. What are we doing on a computer every day? Are we watching porn? What are we doing? What are we doing every day? Every day? What are we doing? I don't need that. And as a lawyer, it's not like I could knit, right? Like my job was to be on a computer every day, either in a meeting or somewhere else with someone who was annoying. What y'all talking about? Nothing? Nothing. Nothing. No. My first day at BMW, I was under 30, and I was 2 years out of law school, and I was the highest ranking Black woman, 3 years, maybe, highest ranking Black woman in my division, and tied with one other woman for the highest ranking Black woman in the entire organization. But I didn't know that until I was hired. And then when I was hired, because I didn't ask those questions, I was in an interview like, tell me about the Black woman in upper management. I didn't even think about it. And then when I got there and I saw it, I was like, this is a problem. Like, this is not like something that I'm proud of. I'm not proud of this. This is a problem. On my first day, I am the highest ranking Black woman in my division. What? Where the sisters at? Who's going to reach back and help me? Who's going to help? Who? Oh, no one. Okay. All right. It's hard to know, right? Like now knowing what I know now, I would have spent more time on LinkedIn. Like, who works here? Let me see some faces. But now that is not a bonus. That is not a privilege. I am not proud of this. From the day one when I found out, when I went through the org chart and was like, this level, this is the problem. It's a problem that I'm 30 and I've been here a day and I'm the highest ranking Black woman. Because as someone who's been here a day, I ain't got no power. How can I advocate for the Black women who work here when I've been here a day? I don't have any power. I have power on paper, but not in real life. So who is it that takes care of the Black woman here? There are a lot of, you know what I mean? Like there are a lot of ways in which what we're doing in the moment isn't our dream. But because it can look good either on the outside or it feels comfortable or safe, we stick it out. And I want you to know that comfortable and safe in something that you don't love. If you love it, I love what I do. I love what I do. Now, between July, August, September, beginning of October, I'm not going to sound like a person who loves what I do because I'm be working hard and I don't like working hard. But I'll be trying to get y'all Exodus Summit. Stephanie knows. When it's Exodus Summit time, we going to be getting it together. We've already claimed that we need to be within the same times. I can't be in Europe, right? She was like, you can be in Europe. And I'm like, no, because I need to be available for meetings. And I'm 5 hours ahead of you now, which cuts down our meeting. Well, I'm 8 hours ahead of where she is right now. So our meeting window is smaller than usual because I'm not meeting really late. She's not meeting really early. And we need to meet with external people for Exodus Summit to happen, right? So I'm going to be back in Mexico. She's going to be somewhere. She might have moved to California already. So I don't know. But I dedicate that 3 months before Exodus Summit to doing everything I can to make sure that you guys get a great experience from Exodus Summit. And then I make money. And Stephanie makes money. So my mama can be out here in $595 Airbnbs and not worry about how they get paid for. But the rest of the year, I'm pretty much feral, right? And this is the life I want. I go where I want. I do what I want. I don't talk to people I don't want to talk to. And this is the life that I designed because I didn't, like for this year, I turned off my one-on-one calendar because having one-on-ones for me in the beginning of the year, even now, especially April and May, wasn't worth for me. The money wasn't worth having to be somewhere at a specific time. And yes, purpose. I want to help Black women. You can watch my videos. You can join my group coaching program. I always show up for those, right? But one-on-ones, no. If it's pressing, you can find someone else to answer that question. I'm not the only one. I'm nobody's Jesus. You can find someone else to answer the question. If it's not pressing, we can talk about it in June or July. Link to book in the description. I designed this life. You can design your life too. Joanna designed her life. She's like 3 months on as a doctor, 3 months off, right? Because she went from an employee to a consultant, right? She consults. She 3 months out of a year, 3 months, every other 3 months, every other quarter, we'll say, she signs on to do some work, right, at some hospital. If you can work as a consultant, if you can work a temp job, you can do this too, right? You can do it. It may not be paying the money you want. It may not have the healthcare. You know, there are issues you have to work through. I would love healthcare. I would love someone to hand me the keys to a brand new, fresh off the factory floor BMW 3 to 4 times a year. But doing that means talking to people I don't like. And I just won't do that anymore. I just won't do that. Right? Like, so there are things that are trade-offs, right? I don't have health insurance in Mexico. That's a me thing, really. But I don't have a steady paycheck. When am I going to get paid? Because my calendar's closed. The only new money coming in this year is like $1,000 a month for YouTube. And like I said, I'm not making regular YouTube videos. It could be higher, but work. No, thank you. Not right now. And then I will work 3 months out of a year, and that money will last me again until next year. That's the plan. That's the life I've built. I work 3 months. I want that. If you want it for yourself, I want it for you. Not everybody has to want it for yourself. Some of you are like, my job is amazing. Your job is amazing. You love it. You love the pay. You love the people. It works. Work it. If it works, work it. If you're not happy, don't let that happiness eat you up inside. Now, Locating Cozy starts her 3 to 6 month contract job tomorrow. First time working since October 2022. Yes, get that contract work. Work 3 to 6 months. And then don't work again until you want to. Or if money's running out. You got this. This is the life I want for you guys. What is the thing that you can do? I see that Tracy says she doesn't have, if you don't love anything. Okay, so I didn't know that I loved this, helping Black women find their thing, take career breaks, leave work that wasn't working for them. But enough women started asking me questions about it, and I was doing enough of it for free that I was like, I think there's a business here. Is there something that you're doing that people ask you about that you do for free? A lot of times what we see is we see women, specifically Black women, saying, undervaluing their skills, right? I don't know how to do anything. So what is it? Black women only apply for jobs if they have 80 or 90% of the criteria, and men apply for jobs if they hit 50% of the criteria. Start 50% in something. If you meet 50% of the criteria, apply for something. If you're like, I'm kind of passionate about that, do it and see what happens. Right? Like, I didn't start doing this because I was like, I have a deep passion for helping women do this. I started doing this because I was like, I'm doing it for free. Why not get paid? Right? And it turned into a business. And I'm intentional about I'm intentional about what I add to the business, and I'm intentional about how I run the business, right? So I don't add anything that requires me to be at my computer every day. We're doing the Get Your Next 3 clients in the beginning of June 4th through 10th, I think I said. And that is the second time. We did the challenge already in either January or February. So those 2 weeks, one in January, one in June, are the only time I'll be at my calendar every day for a week, at my computer every day for a week, until Exodus Summit starts getting into like full gear. And I would say it's 1 hour. It's not 1 hour. It's closer to like 2 hours a day. Maybe more sometimes. I'm not doing it. And so what is the thing you can do? What's the thing you do for free? What's the thing you like to do? Someone said monetize your hobbies. I wouldn't say that, only because I want you to have things you enjoy doing for free. Right? You do just because you like doing them and they don't feel like work. And maybe if you don't love anything, you leave it for like, if you're not coming up with any ideas, sit on it for a while. You don't have to come, your next great thing doesn't have to come out of your brain today. And your next great thing doesn't have to be a great thing. It could be anything. Okay, do you guys on your social medias or your YouTubes or wherever you get your news, do you follow CNBC? CNBC has a habit of talking about people and their side hobbies, and every time they do something, I'm like, people getting paid for that? Let's see what they're talking about on Twitter. Every day I'm like, somebody's getting paid for that? Let's do Instagram. There's probably more info that's readily available. You getting paid for that? Every single time. And the answer is yes. Someone's getting paid for that. So that you don't think you have any skills that are monetizable, CNBC make it. You do. Okay. Micro studio, come on. 27-year-old pays $0 to live in a luxury tiny home. Not what we're looking for, but interesting. Oh, here's the article about Sania job hopping to double her salary. The wrong thing. Okay, usually they're better than this, or it's easier to find them. I don't care about the best breakfast. I make $230,000 running an ice cream shop business with my mom. You like ice cream? Can you open an ice cream shop? She's making $230,000. Right? I look at this like, ooh. Now, I don't want to do it. These all sound like work. I don't want to do them, but you're going to go through this. CNBC make it. If you're looking for ideas, you're going to go through this. Yes, my screen protector is cracked, not the screen itself. But I haven't replaced the screen protector, so I'm still janky. You're going to go through this and be like, oh, all kinds of ideas. I never thought about. All the time, I'm like, what's happening? 25-year-old makes $200 an hour without a bachelor's degree. I work less than 6 hours a day. Let's see what she does. Maybe trading. Oh, notarizing. She's a notary. And she makes $200 an hour. Your next big thing doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a great thing. It doesn't have to be your lifetime goal. We romanticize things too much, right? We romanticize things a little too much. Your next thing could just be being a notary, right? And not that that's just, you know what I mean? But like, add some money, boom, bam, boom, bam. CNBC make it. Every time it comes up, I'm like, people are doing what to make money? This 33-year-old went from a $60,000 salary to $140,000 in just 5 years. Her best negotiation advice. We have a video coming to you from someone who went to teens session at this year's Exodus Summit, and that woman did a very similar income increase in significantly less time. You got to watch it to see. If you like your job, you just want to make more money, get you a coach that will help you, like Teen Zekas from Getting Black Women Paid. That sounds right. Throwing parties? What y'all do? Throwing parties? The what and the who? If someone is always like, help me plan my trip, my mama is always like, can you buy this ticket for me? I'm gonna start charging her. Next time my mama says, can you I need to figure out a ticket from A to B, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna be like, that's $500. You can pay me in cash, PayPal. Because I don't enjoy it. CNBC is good for that. CNBC Make It is the social media thing I look at, but I make $2K a week making paper airplanes. Yes, it's always something where I'm like, now I'm not gonna do that, but somebody I know should be doing this. Always. Somebody I know should be doing this. She won't be me. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Let's see. This one. Job descriptions are written by people like me who are not sure what they want other than somebody to do all this damn work. Speaking of which, Stephanie and I need somebody to help us with the summit. I'm sure I'm not supposed to say that. Is there a job description? No. Will there be a job description? Yes. If you would like to work with us on the summit this year, you have to be available October 7th through 9th, full time, like all day. It's like a 12-hour day. The rest of the time is not full time as far as we know. We don't think we need a full time person yet. But if you have project management skills, we're going to put a job description out sometime soon. So look out for that. And if you take your kid to the wrong school, you go to jail. Mm-mm. Oh. Oh, definitely not. I definitely wasn't supposed to be saying that, I guess. Oh, well, what's Stephanie gonna do? right? What you gonna do now? Well, and when I say that, I mean we're totally unprepared. I don't know when that's going to be released, but you know, at some sometime we'll be hiring. We don't have the description. Come write a description for a job. If you want the job, this sounds crazy. Yes, I'm saying this. Wait a minute now, Stephanie. Close the computer, Stephanie. Close the computer. If you want the job helping us with our online summit, write the description of the work you want to do. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I think if you can write the description for the work you want, the job description, you know the work we need. And if you know the work you need, I trust you a little bit more, but you have the experience. Now, this is not an invitation just to write a letter like, I'd like to work for you. Don't write, no. It's not even going, Frank's gonna be mad because it's just gonna be a bunch of that. I'm saying that if you know what we're talking about and you can write a job description for it, write it. And you're qualified, write the job description and send your resume. Right? I hope Stephanie's not listening. If you know what it takes to run an online summit, because you have experience in this area. If you don't have experience, don't do this. Don't do this. It's a waste of your time. If you have experience, go for it. Write a job description. Send us your resume attached to it. But I'm begging you, if you don't know, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't do this. It's a waste of your time. I think that's Stephanie's displeased face. She's gonna forget about it. It's the middle of the day for her, I think. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna distract her with something shiny, hopefully. She'll forget I did this. And then, yes, Auntie Lou, leave the States by November. I believe in you. I believe in you, Auntie Lou. Okay. I think we've done this today. Oh, have we done? Are there any questions I didn't answer? It is water in the glass, Danielle. I promise. I promise. I drank wine before I got home because I went out to a restaurant, and that's what they make you do in restaurants. I got there, and they were like, the guy was like pouring some port into a glass, and I'm not a big port fan. This was a white port. I was like, He's like, it's just a welcome drink. Baby, you know that welcome drink ended up on the, after he poured it, I started drinking it. I was like, this is gonna be on the bill, isn't it? He was like, it's a welcome drink. You don't want it? That welcome drink was on the bill. You trifling. The minute I took it, I was like, wait a minute now. This is gonna be on the bill, isn't it? And it sure was. It's okay, so I didn't really leak that we're hiring. That was public knowledge. I don't know, y'all. If you watch this and you're like, boom, I know exactly what you need for an online summit, write the job description, send us your resume. Now, if a job description matches your resume exactly, I'm not gonna be mad. Because baby, that's how players play. If it's not on point, right? If it's not what we need, I'm not gonna be mad, but you probably won't get the job. But if it is what we need, because you know what we need, go for it. And Wendy, I could definitely charge my mom. Me. I've booked like 3 flights for her 4 flights for her since we've been together. Because she's got to go here and there, and she's fancy, and she's going to this place, and she's going to that place, and beep, 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 beep. Yes, so I knew the bread wasn't free. I knew the olives weren't free. When he said a welcome pour, I was like, a welcome drink? I was like, oh, that might be free. And then I was like, no, that was a rookie move. It's not free. It's not free. Veterans art therapy, you got it right, but it needs to be like, I should be more specific. We have one person, we're looking for one person who could run an online summit without Stephanie or I being involved. So it's not just like, can you help us follow directions? It's like, have you done enough of this before that you could do this without us? Sylvia Miller, I see your, I don't know what we're calling this, the tip you dropped off with a question that I don't think I can answer. Any investment ideas for Senegal and Gambia? Will be there for next 3 months. My first time in Africa, just looking for suggestions for Gambia. I don't, but I know someone. See if I can find her on IG who helps people invest in Senegal. Her name is not coming to me right now. Give me a second while I think about that. Anybody else have any other questions? I think I know how to find her. Text it up, sound checks, and confirm probing guests, social media. Think bigger than that, Auntie Lou. So like getting guests, getting the back systems working, that kind of stuff. Her name on Instagram, Sylvia, is, oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Go away, stop it. Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Minimize, there we go. Natia Anderson on Instagram. She helps women with investment ideas in Senegal. I've never worked with her, but I have met her and she was lovely. No, it wasn't certified. It wasn't certified Africa because she does, I don't think she's in Senegal or Gambia, but that might be, certified Africa might be another place to think of. Sylvia, let me copy profile URL and see if I can. This is Natia's IG. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, you got me like an online conference summit producer. Yes. If we could hand this off to you, we're not going to hand something off completely to anyone, but if we could hand it off to you, do you have the skills for that? And can you show us on paper that you have the skills for us to hand this to you completely? Auntie Lou says he must have coffee card experience. What coffee card? Ain't no coffee cards. We're not talking about coffee cards ever again. Ever again. Ain't no coffee cards, B. No. I don't. Ashley in Africa is a really great person to talk to about investing in South Africa and Tanzania, but Sylvie was specifically asking about Gambia and Senegal. And so I know someone who does investments in Dakar. So, but Ashley in Africa, for anyone who's looking for Tanzania or South Africa. We never talking about coffee cards again. Ain't no coffee card, B. It's not happening. Never happened. We had an assistant this year who was in charge of a coffee card, and she made it so easy to do it. until one of y'all started being fraudulent. I said light fraud, not big fraud, and not at my expense, not at our collective expense. I didn't say go buy a coffee maker when we said get a cup of coffee. Not that. Can't trust you. I've been going through some personal life trauma, and this live, along with keeping you, Stephanie, Daily, and Hypertension, has been immensely soothing and affirming. Oh, Tribe 213. I really feel that. And I appreciate you pouring into us. And I thank you for watching and hope that what you're going through gets a little easier, a little lighter for you. Yes. Sending some love. Run the online summit without you and Stephanie being involved. Yes and no. Like, we would never give anyone, neither one of us would ever be like, take it and go. But we want you to, we're looking for someone, if someone has the skills to do that, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone we would never say, figure it out. We're never like, hand you the keys and be like, learn how to drive, right? Like, you'll be all right. But we do, if someone had the skills to take it over, that's what we're looking for. Hi, Shauna. I saw your online twin again. I think you saw her on Instagram. I saw her on Facebook, your online twin. I was like, is this ain't Shauna's face staring at me? Girl, get out of here. Whatever you advertising. Who is you? Stole Shauna's face. It's probably you in like AI machine. It's probably Shauna. Stephanie won't let me just freestyle this. Virtual event planning, marketing, and booking. She wants to be very specific. I liked, someone said event producing. That's my favorite. Online conference / summit producer is my favorite description of the person so far. You need to be detail oriented and think big picture. Now, we will have a job description for this eventually. I don't know what eventually means. We'll have it. But we want to give you a heads up. I want to give you a heads up clearly that it's something that's on our mind. Okay, so who is going to sign up for Get Your Next 3 Clients in June? Who? Girl, you know I couldn't hire ChatGPT for anything because ChatGPT would just steal our ideas, and then there'd be another summit. Some white man would be doing a move abroad summit for Black women with everything we put into ChatGPT. Okay, Cozy, I'll probably do wait, the members only weekly meetings again in June, but for now I'll give you some behind the scenes content. So I'll probably go live before this week is over. I was Airbnb because it's beautiful. I gave you guys a tour of the one in Fez. I'll probably give you a tour of this one because it's really stunning. Kat, if you sign up again, will you read me for filth? I mean, not more or less than last time. I won't. Okay, so signing up again is not a reason to read you. Bullshitting when you're in the challenge is always a reason to read you. All right, Black, Flourishing, and Free is on the wait list already. Whose face is that? Okay, girl. All right now. Erica's signing up. We cannot wait to have y'all. We cannot wait to have y'all. The link to the wait list is linked in my description. The online 10K party is the 26th of May at 2 p.m. Send me a job description. And I'm not going to tell you where, because if you can't figure out where to send this email, you're not the right person for this job. Love you, mean it. Okay, that's it. I'll see you guys next time. I'll be next week, this time I'll be in London. And it'll be my last, is that my last Sunday, it's my last Sunday out of the country. This IG ad. I'm gonna tell you, I follow Bush Bomb, if you're familiar. I think that was Bush Bomb that was playing it. It's mostly about like hair removal. But when I was looking for Natia's link, how there's a reel that pops up? The reel that popped up and that I was trying, the music kept playing for, was about like how to shave your own butt. And not like your outer butt, but your inner butt. Your little balloon knot. So that's what kept playing. That's why I keep getting distracted. Like, this can't be real life. You don't need to know that. But if I know it, you know it. Yes. Next Sunday, I'll be in London. And then the Sunday after that, I'll be back in Mexico City. So I'll see you from there. All right, y'all. Till next time. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you didn't give it a like, what are you waiting for? Give it a like. I better not. Did I already have an angry text from Stephanie? I don't think so. No, I don't have an angry text from Stephanie yet, which I think means I'm in the money. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.